Welcome back to Maneater. In this video we are reviewing the game, but before we get into it I am doing a giveaway. All you have to do is watch through the video. There will be at one point a code on the screen which is for the Epic Games Store. You can redeem that code, you will have the game for free. If you do manage to nab the code, I hope you enjoy it. And let's get into the review. So the start of the game, the very start. I was impressed with this game. There were a minor sort of like nitpicking problems. But overall, it was a really good experience, a lot of fun. At the start of the game, it starts you off as an adult to introduce you to the world. Then you will go through the cutscene, which starts the story, and you turn into a pup because of the thing that happens. I'm gonna try my best not to spoil any of it. So you start off as a pup, and you're going through, you have to kill wildlife. You need to evolve, you need to grow, you need to adapt, and you need to basically climb your way up the food chain. There is a leveling system in the game. The hard cap is level 30. There are predators that will be hunting you down the entire time you are playing. And with the leveling, there are evolutions as well. You evolve, let's just say, like this isn't really spoiling it, but from a pup to a teen. In order to get to the teen, you need to be level 4. And what that's going to do is make you a little bit stronger, and you're just going to be more badass, basically. There are multiple evolutions in the game that each have their own level requirements. And in order to actually evolve, you need to go to a grotto. A grotto is the safe area in the game. You can't be attacked in there. It's the only place you can use the evolution menu and actually sort out your upgrades and stuff. It's also used as fast travel and a save point. Then you have the different mission types in the game. You have main, like, story missions, you have side missions, you have collectible stuff. Collectibles are nutrient caches, landmarks, and license plates. You will not be able to obtain all, like, nutrient caches in Fortic Bayou as soon as you start the game. You need to evolve a little bit to smash down these gates and access, like, locked off areas. The side missions are basically hunt a certain target. You can do population control, so if there's too many catfish, go and kill some. And there are 8 different regions, including the introduction area, that you have to go through, and they're all unique. None of them are the same. For example, the Bayou is very shallow water, and then eventually you go to incredibly deep water. You have a sonar. It's one of your organs. Use it and upgrade it as much as you possibly can. It's so helpful. You will be using nutrients from eating other wildlife in order to level up in this game. And with your sonar, once you do the upgrades, it will decrease your cooldown and increase your radius. That will show you the nutrient types that each bit of wildlife is going to award you once you've eaten them. There is also an organ called Hearty, which I would strongly recommend as well, because that will increase your maximum health capacity. And that is going to be so helpful because, to put it into context, these predators, when you're starting at a level 1 pup, the alligators in the very first area are level 8. It eventually goes to you being level 30, and there is a monster in the game. I'm going to say monster, like there is wildlife in the game. There is a creature that is level 60. So there's a big difference. Nothing to be too worried about. The game isn't that difficult. It's actually very beginner friendly. But just make sure you are, like, keeping an eye on your surroundings, because you never know when something's going to strike. But with the nutrients, you have 4 different types. You've got fat, which is yellow. You have protein, which is red. Minerals, which are blue. And mutagen, which are green. Protein, fat, and minerals will be used for your basic upgrades. Mutagen is for the more advanced levels. There are 5 tiers in total with the upgrades, with tier 5 being legendary. You'll notice by the colour, it's like your standard sort of rarity. And at the start of the game, you don't need to worry about mutagen. That will be later in the game. But for an example, there is a body type called bioelectric. It's amazing. It's the one I used throughout the whole game, and it fucking looks incredible too. But bioelectric will require fat, and a lot of it, to upgrade the levels on your body parts. So make sure that you save up the nutrients, upgrade whenever you possibly can. You don't need to actually save them after you have the right amount for an upgrade. And if you're going, for an example, for bioelectric, then make sure that you get all of the pieces. Like, don't mix the sets. So there's bone and bioelectric in the game. Don't get like 2 parts bone and 3 parts bioelectric, because you will get set bonuses. So when you have all 5 pieces bioelectric, you will have like 50% extra electric damage. And just make sure that you are powering up as much as you possibly can, because you'll get these people called hunters. They are like the police. It's basically a wanted level system called the infamy rank. The infamy rank goes from 1 to 10, and in order to get it started, you need to attack humans. Start eating people, your threat level will build up, they'll send out hunters. Once the hunters are out, you need to try and actually level that up to get unique rewards, including the bioelectric body. So you start off by eating the humans, the hunters come out, you start destroying their boats, and then once you've hit the next rank, it will send out the hunter leader, which will, like, once you've taken them down, it will award you the right upgrade and the nutrients for completing that rank. Then you'll move on to the next one. There is a bit of a cheese if you just bite and evade at the same time. They do hit you every now and then, but nowhere near as much because the AI for the hunters is a little bit on the dumb side. But I would definitely work on the infamy rank because bioelectric is so cool. Then there are apex predators. Each region has its own apex predator, and you will have that spawn in once you've completed that region. So once you've progressed far enough in order to complete that region, move on to the next one, is basically a boss fight for each of the regions. These are very, very dangerous. Sometimes they will spawn in with extra, like not the apex, but they'll spawn in with extra spawns of that predator. So say for an example it is an alligator, you'll have the apex and then it will spawn a couple of normal alligators as well. So it's basically a little bit of ad control required as well. But one of the most important things in this game is if you are starting to get low on health, instead of just dying and respawning and trying again, leave the fight you're in for a moment, just swim off, use your sonar, find a couple of like level 1 wildlife or something, like a couple of, let's just say a couple of catfish, and make sure you munch on them, because each bit of wildlife you eat will replenish a little bit of your health. And that's pretty much all you do in this game. You literally start off, you eat the wildlife, you level up, you do missions, you do boss fights, you complete the story, done. Bit of exploration in between to make the game last a little bit longer. There is a big lack of diversity. I really would have enjoyed it so much more. Like I thoroughly enjoyed it all the way through. It did start to get a little bit repetitive towards the end, but there was a lack of diversity because there are literally 3 body types. There are not many organs, and I would say besides the 3 I were using, which was fat digestion in the end, because that was using, like I was using it for bioelectric, and fat digestion will give you extra health when you're eating. It will give you bonus fat, like nutrient drops. I was using Hearty for the extra max health, and then I was using Advanced Sonar. That's the only 3 I used throughout the entire game. Before I got fat, it was the mineral digestion. So there's not a lot in terms of variety in the game. The dialogue is cheesy as fuck. Like some of the missions have the most cringy names. The story length, in my opinion, was far too short. I would have liked it to be maybe a couple of hours longer, but the graphics and the design of the game are nice. It runs really smooth. The physics of your shark, like not the physics because the jumping's a little bit unrealistic, but the movement of your shark is realistic. You feel powerful. You kind of get immersed into the feeling of you're actually a shark. Like it does that to you. You actually have that feeling of like, fuck me, I'm the strongest thing in this water, come at me bitch, I'm gonna rip your face off. And just like the graphics of when you grab a human and you bite into them and you start eating them, like you consume them, is very graphic. It's amazing. And especially when you're going after, let's just say, a mako shark. As you're fighting it, you will eventually bite its tail off. You will take its dorsal fin off. It will be like half a shark. And it just looks amazing. Like, there's a little, like another little annoying thing is the fact that if you're in the bayou, every bit of wildlife is level 1. All of the alligators are level 8. If there is a hunted alligator, they are all level 15. When you move on, there are other things that are all level 10, all level 13. When you get to a certain area, about halfway through, you will have king mackerel as a form of the fat nutrient. And they are, I believe they're one of the only, I believe the groupers do it as well, but the king mackerel, you'll either find them level 3, 5 or 7. But another good thing is how you actually have albinos in there, which will give you mutagen. There's not just one specific way to get that nutrient. So I really enjoyed the game. Had a lot of fun with it. It did start getting a little bit repetitive. And as I said, a little bit longer story, less cheese in the dialogue, a bit more diversity, couple more body types, a few more like organs that are actually worth using. But overall, definitely worth my time. Definitely worth the purchase. I'm going to rate this game a 9 out of 10. There were a couple of frame drops like here and there when there was a lot going on the screen. But other than that and what I've already mentioned, like the lighting was amazing. There wasn't a single area in the game that was too dark. The exploration is good. It forces you to areas that you wouldn't otherwise explore. But on that note, I'm going to leave the video there. Let me know your thoughts and stuff in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.